Karen Read trial, day 10. Here's what happened in court today. Back on the stand this morning was Lieutenant Paul Gallagher, and Alan Jackson brought up the fact that there was a house across the street that had a camera, and Lieutenant Gallagher never tried to get the footage to see if it had captured anything. It's directly across the street. They also discussed the fact that he had used solo cups to put evidence in. They weren't covered or properly stored. He left them in an evidence room for 3 days. Next on the stand was Robert Gilman, meteorologist, a new witness for the Commonwealth, and he discussed the snow accumulation. He testified that on the morning of the 29th, the snow had accumulated up to about 4 inches, making this the biggest January snowstorm on record. He also testified that this snow fell all day and temperatures were brutally cold, around 24 degrees, explaining that the ground, soil, and surface were all completely frozen, meaning the ground would have been impossible to penetrate. Back on the stand was Nicholas Guarino, and they went over call logs and text messages between John O'Keefe and Karen Read. A PowerPoint was displayed for the jurors, and Trooper Guarino read the text messages and they played the voicemails. If you recall, Karen Read was upset she could not get a hold of John O'Keefe. She kept calling him repeatedly and leaving him some pretty intense voicemails. After lunch, they had Lieutenant Charles Ray on the stand, and he is the one who conducted the wellness check at John O'Keefe's house to check on the niece and nephew the morning after his body was found. Next on the stand was Lieutenant Kevin O'Hara, and he was the search team leader. He found one of John's sneakers and the taillight pieces. Alan asked O'Hara of his knowledge of the additional pieces being found at the crime scene after his team left. He testified that 5 members of law enforcement, including Brian Tully, that he did not recognize, arrived at the scene after his team began their search. He says he also noticed an unknown man wearing a hooded sweatshirt exit the house and stand in the front porch area, but the individual did not interact with any of the investigators. Alan Jackson asked him, "When did you become aware over the next days and several weeks that there would be 40 more pieces of taillight claimed to be recovered at the scene?" And he said, "No, I was not aware other pieces were located." That wrapped up